Guys, you're ready with your tricolors. And 80th Independence Day question to my India today is: are we really free, or do we simply have we changed the rulers only? Because independence is not merely the lowering of one flag and hoisting another. Independence is just not a date on the calendar. For me, independence is the right to speak without fear, the right to disagree as and when you need, without being branded as an enemy, the right to question the power without being punished for asking right questions at the right time, the right to eat whatever you want to eat as per the law permits without being humiliated for your taste, the right to belong to this country, our country, India, our Bharat, without having to constantly prove that you belong. Rights begin to shrink. That is when the problem comes. Then we have a huge problem, far deeper than the politics that we are all into. We have a problem with the very meaning of freedom itself. That is how I see it. The things that they wanted was the right to question. There was nothing more than that. Just going for a dissent whenever they disagree. The right to assemble at a place for the dissent. The right to speak as and when they want. The right to govern ourselves, our lives. Because if you see, at the end of the day, under colonial rule, opening our mouth was a curse. We all understand that. We all know about it. We have read about it. A peaceful protest under a colonial rule could be a crime. A newspaper could be silenced if it is published and talking about what the governance was all about. A question could be treated as a rebellion, could be punished. And today, almost 8 decades has passed by. After independence that we achieved in 1947, we must have the courage to ask ourselves, are we allowing the psychology of the Raj to return again without the Raj? Now that's really something that we need to ponder upon. Divide, distract, demonize, create an us and a them. That differentiation should not be existing. Make citizens suspicious of one another. Is that what we are here for? Turn differences of language, region, caste, color, religion, food and lifestyle into weapons of differentiation, weapons of symbolizing, because a divided society is an easier society to control. And that is precisely why divide and rule must never be encouraged, must never become divide and govern philosophy. For all of us, Bharat does not need citizens who blindly agree. An educated Bharat needs citizens who think. An educated Bharat needs citizens who question. An educated and conscience-full Bharat needs citizens who challenge, who demand for evidence, who ask, where did the money go? Ask for the accountability. Who is accountable? Why was this policy needed at all? Why was that voice silenced? We have many evidences of such happening over the past few years. Why one citizen treated differently from the other? So this is a very, very pertinent question we must ask ourselves as we stand today on the 80th Independence Day. These are not anti-national questions. These are pertinent democratic questions. Accountability is not an insult to the administrator. Accountability is the responsibility of the administrator. The people are not subjects. The people are the sovereign part of this nation. Governments are custodians of that sovereignty, not owners. By no means they are the owners of it. And therefore, when discrimination enters into our public life, we must speak up. We must speak up loudly. When a person's food becomes a reason for him being hated, we must speak up. We must speak loudly. When someone's identity becomes a reason for exclusion, we must speak boldly. When racial discrimination, racial prejudices, color-based discrimination raises its ugly head, we must speak louder. We must speak loudest when political disagreement becomes personal. Hatred, we must speak again. When peaceful dissent is suppressed, because at the end of the day, silence is not always peace. Silence sometimes and most times is a surrender that we must not do on this Independence Day. And I refuse to believe that India our Bharat, envisioned by our freedom fighters, actually was an India where citizens are afraid to ask questions. Independence means the citizen has the constitutional right and confidence to look at power and say that you work for us, you answer to us, and we have every right, every democratic responsibility to question you, the power holder. So, as we approach our 80th Independence Day, which we are all proud of, perhaps celebration should come with a little discomfort. Perhaps we should stop asking only how proud we are as Indians, how proud we are of our India, and instead start asking the question, how worthy are we the freedom of India that our freedom fighters fought for? Because the real debate is not simply freedom versus independence. The real debate, what does independence mean if freedom becomes a conditional situation?